We are at the halfway stage in the January transfer window. And yes, as you can tell by the thumbnail, there could be a big story in the next few days, maybe the next few weeks, maybe the summer transfer window. Now, it's no secret that Arsenal are interested in signing a left winger, and they have been linked to every possible left winger you could imagine, from Nico Williams to Rodrigo to Rafa Leao, Barcola, Kvaratskhelia. But today, a very credible Arsenal source has dropped a big piece of news. And since this morning, in the last 4 hours, this has done nearly 900,000 views on Twitter. And then another transfer source a couple of hours later also dropped a very similar story. Now, what's incredibly interesting about this? Yes, we're talking about Anthony Gordon joining Arsenal. There's pros, there's cons, but where does this leave Leandro Trossard? Where does this leave Gabriel Martinelli? Now, we'll start with Martinelli. He has been very, very good in the Champions League this season. He scored an FA Cup hat-trick in the third round, but there are some inconsistencies with his game when it comes to getting down to the byline and crossing. All of the Arsenal wingers, it seems at the moment, would rather get into a dangerous area and try and get a shot away, which is absolutely fine. They're trying to affect attacks in the final third. They're trying to score goals. But a lot of Arsenal fans, especially last night, in the coming weeks, in the last 3 or 4 weeks, have been frustrated at Gyökeres's lack of service. Leandro Trossard, Bukayo Saka, Noni Madueke, Gabriel Martinelli all love to cut in and shoot. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that Anthony Gordon doesn't like to cut in and shoot, but he is known for getting down to the byline and spraying across the 6-yard box, which is exactly the sort of service that Victor Gyökeres, Kai Havertz, and Gabriel Jesus would love to have, balls in and around the 6-yard box. You've got 3 different strikers there. You've got Gabriel Jesus, who loves to come deep, get on the ball, plays in the pockets of space. Kai Havertz loves to come deep, loves playing those killer balls through to Madueke, Saka, or Martinelli, or Leandro Trossard. But Gyökeres, out of the 3, is the only one out of those 3 who is actually a prolific goal scorer in the number 9. Now, to maximize Gyökeres's potential, you need wide players who are going to give him service. And last night, Bukayo Saka was getting pelters because there is a screenshot going around, part of the game yesterday, where Bukayo Saka didn't play in Gyökeres, would rather, sound like Jonathan Ross, would rather wait for the overlap and put the ball in across from a overlapping run across from Ben White. There's a lot to get into. Make sure you go down, drop a like on the video if you haven't already. Make sure you do hit that subscribe button. The road to 100,000 subscribers is well and truly on. 92% of you, yes, you watch the channel every day and haven't subscribed. So what are you waiting for? Go down and hit that subscribe button. We've got a video dropping on the second channel as well today. Richarlison is now out for 7 weeks. It just seems to be going from bad to worse. Everything I seem to watch at Spurs seems to go from bad to worse. But it is what it is. Now, I'm going to bring up this report or this tweet from AFC Amdan. Very reliable transfer. I don't even know what you call him. He's not a journalist. But he is a very reliable ITK. Understand, Arsenal are targeting a move for Anthony Gordon in the summer. Now, this season, Anthony Gordon has been very, very, very hit and miss. Very, very hit and miss. He, for me, when I look at what Gordon offers, he is a bit more of a creative winger than what Arsenal have other than Saka. Trossard creates, but I think Anthony Gordon is a very creative winger. Now, when you look at his stats this season, he hasn't been anywhere near the level what I thought a lot of people would expect from a player like Gordon. In terms of his stats this season, we're not anywhere near what we thought we would get from him. When you look at this current season, his open play goals have been poor. They have been poor, and that's not a criticism. That's just an honest assessment of him. You know, he's played 27 games in all competitions. He's got 8 goals, done very well in the Champions League, 7 GA and 6, but in the league, just 2 goals. And I think only one of those is open play. Both of those may be penalties. Now, when you compare that to Martinelli, when you compare that to Leandro Trossard, he isn't anywhere near, for instance, Leandro Trossard's stats this season. But Trossard's 31. They do need to look at a long-term replacement to him. In terms of the names that have been mentioned, you've got, for instance, believe it or not, he has actually got more goals than Trossard. But in terms of Trossard's numbers, he has been very clutch. He's scored in a lot of big games. Now, he's got 1 less goal, but he's got 2 more assists in 3 less games. He's played 1,459 minutes. And I think Anthony Gordon, in terms of his numbers, he has played 1,670. So he's played nearly 300 minutes more. Is it a needle mover for Arsenal, considering they've been linked to a Bradley Barcola? They've been linked to a Nico Williams. Nico Williams is very unlikely right now because he's signed a new long-term big contract with Bilbao on 250,000 euros a week. Bradley Barcola is another one. Is he realistic? You've got Yildiz, you've got Arda Güler. You've got so many players that, as it stands, are linked with that left wing position. Now, again, when you look at Bradley Barcola, his numbers, only 5 goals, 4 assists. Where it gets really interesting is the mainstream media haven't broken this story yet. This hasn't come out from the big giants of football transfer, the world of, you know, Fabrizio Romano, David Ornstein. Neither of them have broken it yet. Indy, however, he's credible and has come out to say that breaking bombshell, top Premier League clubs, top Premier League superstar just called us and dropped this massive question. Is Anthony Gordon actually coming to Arsenal this summer? Now, another thing that's worth noting is Harvey Barnes, since coming into to Newcastle, has done very, very, very well. This season, he's got more goal contributions than Harvey Barnes. He's got 11 goals and 2 assists. And all of those have been, to my knowledge, in open play. So if you were to take away Gordon's penalties, he'd be on 3 goals this season. He's got 4 goals in the Champions League and 1 assist, and he's got 5 goals in the Premier League. Still not a prolific goal-scoring player that Arsenal want. Then you hear the story today coming out from Semenyo that he really wanted to join Arsenal. You look at Martinelli's stats, again, 9 goals. 3 of those were against Portsmouth. 5 goals in the Champions League in 5 games. 3 in the FA Cup. Only 1 Premier League goal, which was against Manchester City. But again, he's only played 1,045 minutes, which, when you want to look at the numbers, that's 650 minutes less than Harvey Barnes. And he's only got 2 goals less. Now, what's really, really interesting is AFC Madman did put out another tweet regarding Semenyo. Now, according to him, Semenyo, according to his report, said, or his tweet, that Semenyo really wanted to join Arsenal. Manchester City was his second choice. However, Arsenal, it was more of a summer deal. So if they were to have signed Semenyo, I personally believe that would have been an unbelievable signing. When you look at his goal return, it is a lot stronger than the current wingers. Now, this is where it gets really, really interesting. I'm going to bring up this tweet come out 4 hours ago that Anton Semenyo called Arsenal and asked the club to make a move to sign him this month or guarantee a summer move. But before he joined Manchester City, however, both Mikel and Andrea Berta don't do guarantees. And that's really, really interesting because Semenyo, for me, has been arguably the best winger in the Premier League this season in terms of his output. 10 goals and 3 assists, 13 GA in 20 is very, very good. Since joining City, he got 2 goals in 2 games, including a goal in the semi-final away at St. James's Park. So he's already proven that he can step up in some of the bigger moments. Now, when you look at Arsenal's fixtures coming up, that Arteta needs to utilize his squad to the best of his ability. You know, they have got Nottingham Forest, Inter Milan, Manchester United, Karate Almaty, and then Leeds United, all still to play this month. And bearing in mind, there's only 16 days left of this month. Nottingham Forest is not going to be an easy game by any stretch. Inter Milan, at that point, if they were to finish in the top 2, they get home advantage into the next round of the Champions League. Manchester United, new manager bounce potentially under Michael Carrick, Karate Almaty. Leeds United, they're pretty much got one hand in the final, and then Arsenal will play. Their February fixtures are actually really interesting because they've got Chelsea, Sunderland, us, Wigan, a decent tie for them, Brentford, and you'd imagine the Champions League next round will be in February too. So as it stands, they've got an FA Cup game, a North London derby, Brentford, Sunderland, Chelsea. They've already got 5 games plus the 2 Champions League, and then the next round probably potentially a final of the League Cup. So right now there's a lot of Arsenal news, but I don't see them going out and dropping huge money on a player this month. Maybe a loan deal. Ethan Nwaneri has been linked to a move away. Miles Skelly's been linked to a move away. Ben White. I think you're more likely to see a departure from Arsenal this month. Maybe, but who knows? Make sure you go down, drop a like, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.